Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Happy New Year. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I'm here today to talk about the energy forecast for the week ahead for the Twin Flame Collective. And so today is New Year's Day, although I am pre-recording this on New Year's Eve. We will be talking about the energies coming in today. And so today on New Year's Day, we do have Venus square Saturn, and we also have Mercury stationing direct. On the 4th, we have Mars entering into Capricorn. On January the 6th, we do have the Sun forming a square to Chiron. And we also have Venus square Lilith on Sunday, January the 7th. And so we're not out of the woods yet, is what I want to say. And so I know last week for me was very heavy. We had Christmas. We had the Cancer full moon. And the last time I recorded a video, I believe, was on the Friday before Christmas break. And I've not really worked since. My little one was really, really unwell and sick throughout the holidays. And so she got home from school Friday and was sick all through the night Friday. She was sick all weekend. And so my peanut and I kind of missed out on Christmas this year. So it was a different energy vibe. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of purging in more ways than I wish to share on my channel. But it was a very rough week, and I don't even know how I survived that first week of Christmas break. And so I'm actually really looking forward to a new year, a new energy. And so for myself, this New Year's Eve, I will be kind of just spending it in hermit mode, home alone with my little one, and I'm going to be journaling about some goals for next year for the channel, some personal goals. And so I do highly suggest spending that time going within and doing that. But let's talk about New Year's Day. I do feel a major reevaluation of goals is taking place collectively. I connected one-on-one with a divine feminine a couple of days ago, a much needed walk with a divine feminine out in nature, grounding, connecting with the earth. It was really what I needed to get through the worst of the energies last week. And so the majority of the divine feminines that I've spoken to, we've been going through it emotionally, right? So that full moon in Cancer was all about the home. So the home was in focus. And so that full moon energy is going to be playing out until the new moon in Capricorn. I believe it's on the 11th of January, but don't quote me on that. Fact check me on that in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the 11th. And so full moons are about releasing, purging, illumination. And so I know for myself, my 5th house in Cancer, I'm focused on the home, and I am on a cleansing, purging spree like crazy. It was like I tore down Christmas yesterday, and it's like out with the old, in with the new. And I do feel a major reevaluation, right, as we prepare to go into an 8-year where we have Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. This is a very karmic year that we are going into. I'm excited. 8 is my personal soul vibration number. And so I'm kind of excited about that, because I know what I've been putting out there is always going to come back to me tenfold. And so that's exactly the energy of karma, right? What we put out there comes back tenfold. And so with Venus square Saturn, this is a very sobering energy. Saturn is all about karma. Saturn is all about discipline and structure. Saturn really doesn't like being in Pisces, in a mutable water sign. And so we're still dealing with some Capricornian energy there. And with Venus in Sagittarius squaring it up with Saturn in Pisces, I do feel this is the energy of reversal. That's what I kept hearing, reversal. Reversal of the scales. It's like this energy of reverse osmosis, tarot oasis is what I want to channel in the energies. And so this is about responsibility too, and self-sacrificing, right? And having the courage to maybe let something go, sacrifice something for something better. And so this is like an alchemist reversal energy is what I feel coming through. So we've got Venus in Sagittarius, squaring it up with Saturn, Venus in the 10th house, which is going to be in Scorpio, a 12 degrees 12, so 12 12, like doubling the digits energy, amplifying the energy. And then we have Saturn in Pisces, which is going to be in the second house. And so this is going to be at a 0 degrees, at a reset. And so we're reversing the scales is what I feel this week. And it's almost like an energy of like the poles shifting, right? We're all feeling the pole shift. We're all feeling the earth raise her vibration. And so this is a very highly sensitive, mystical energy collectively that we are in right now. And so I was shown the Hanged Man. And so if we think about the Hanged Man, Pisces energy, right? Pisces energy. Water is the basis of all life, according to the energy of the Hanged Man, right? Water, we are, what, 70% water? Water is everything. The moon rules the water. We are ruled by the moon and water. And so water is the basis of life. And the Hanged Man is this energy that symbolizes the first water of our divine power. And so this highly sensitive mystical energy, I feel, is shifting a lot of perspectives coming up this week, especially with Mercury stationing direct. And so I do feel the power of silence is where we learn to tap into this boundless energy. And so this is where the ghosting and all of this kind of comes in on the journey as well sometime. But I do feel we are in this highly psychic energy of developing the telepathy, the psychic gifts, and tapping into this boundless energy. And we do need to do that in silence. And so similar to the Hanged Man would be the Hermit energy, the Virgo Pisces, and mutating between the two energies. I do feel like relationship issues are coming up, right? Especially surrounding fears and insecurities this week. And hindrances are likely. I don't think we're in the clear yet. There's a lot of us that have been feeling very lonely, very depressed. And let's face it, depression is typical for human life. We all get down, we all get lonely, we all get depressed at times. And Christmas is a very hard time for a lot of people, no matter if you're on the spiritual journey or not. We all have human emotions that we need to process and go through. And so with Mercury stationing direct, I was shown the Fool with the Chariot. And so this is an opportunity to master a karmic lesson. The Fool does, although it's a 0, it vibrates at master number 22. The Fool vibrates at a master number. And so we've got the Fool, the Chariot, and the Wheel is what kept coming through for me channeling Mercury stationing direct, because Mercury will station direct in the 4th house of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, luck and expansion, the Wheel of Fortune. And so this is like a mirroring energy going on this week for the twins. And so we are going to have the strength to go through this karmic reckoning. So justice energy as well. And so when Mercury stations direct, the ascendant is going to be in Pisces, and the descendant is going to be in Virgo. And so this is justice energy. I do feel playing out is how the guides had shown me that. Almost like travel is what I heard. Travel, advancements, and dreams coming true. And so the astral travel, the higher dimensional travel, advancement, like spiritual advancement, gifts are accelerating, gifts are expanding. And so a lot of us have been going within, right? Within some more deeper shadow integration, especially with Lilith in Virgo, is really dealing with a lot of shame. It's a very earthly energy. And so there's a lot of ancient wisdom, I feel, feeding the collective consciousness at this time. And Uranus somehow is at play, I feel, where we're kind of in this awakening energy, this great awakening. These energies are serving as a catalyst to trigger a lot of these past life Atlantean memories of Atlantis, and our subhuman forms of these higher dimensional forms where we have incarnated as these higher dimensional beings. And so I do feel there's a lot of higher visions coming in when it comes to the age of Atlantis, the timeline of Atlantis, the age of Aquarius, our subhuman forms or like our subhuman avatar forms. And there's a lot of spiritual purification going on through the heart chakra, I feel, to get us to these higher frequency timelines. And so in order to do that, we have to purify the lower desires, the lower passions, the lower chakras. And it's this spiral of energies that have been activating us within the Kundalini life force activation on this journey. And so we're in the process of ascending and descending to manifest this new world, this new earth. And so it is being made manifest. And so we do need to show reverence and respect to the journey and the process that we've been on. And it's just this energy, I feel, where we're being asked to just be, which is the offering of peace to the universe, to the guides, to the angels. But I do feel a lot of strength is needed as this karmic rebalancing takes place, this justice energy. And so there's a catalyst of some sort, whether it's an event, a person, a job loss. A catalyst can be any major turning point when it comes to completing a cycle, depending on your own personal journey. But this catalyst is going to allow us to overcome the errors of the past. And it is all about correcting the past karma, balancing the past karma. And so I do feel this is a week where we're kind of at like the turning point for the better. And with Mars entering into Capricorn, this is going to be about like a 5-6 week journey of Mars in Capricorn of judgment, I feel. The energy of judgment, of awakening, of going within that hermit mode, that Four of Swords energy of healing. Healing from this exposure of this truth. The Four of Swords is also healing from heartbreak. And so this is healing the brokenness in the subconscious too. If we think of swords is mental, right? It's thoughts, it's air. But the Three of Swords speaks of a broken heart. And so our thoughts oftentimes dishonor us, and we will be the person to break our own heart due to some thoughts, right? But I do feel this is the pivot point for many of the divine masculines this week, with Mars entering into Capricorn. So with Mars journeying into Capricorn, this is where the masculine, I feel, becomes exalted. Exalted from the karma. And so this is a process, right? And so this is where the masculine kind of gets to work, is what I feel. And so he's balancing the dualistic energy of Mars and Capricorn between passion and anger, between love and competitiveness, and between desires and aggression. And so this is where the major changes take place, 1311. And this is where these endings reach completion, because the cycle has to completely close, or we will keep repeating history, and we are here to break the chains. And so there will be a certain type of event or something that will take place, I feel, this week very quickly, with something connected to an ending of a karmic cycle, or many endings of karmic relationships and cycles. And like I said, it could be jobs, friendships, lovers, family members. And so this is a major period, I feel, of change and transition. And so Mars will enter into Capricorn on January the 4th. And so we're going to be in that energetic degree of that 0 point. And so this is the unbound potential of doing that work, of really going within and learning this revelation, going through this separation, this elimination of the karmic releasing when it comes to the past mistakes. And so this is a very deeply emotional experience to go through a spiritual awakening, and then to go through the twin flame awakening and activation. And so we oftentimes are reluctant to go into this deeply emotional experience because of the depths of like the Piscean ocean of the cosmic heart. And so we have to go into the heart, and we have to release the reluctancy and face all of the obstacles in our lives. Otherwise, we can't really free ourselves from the baggage, right? And so there's a huge release I feel going on with Mars in Capricorn of karmic associations for both the masculine and the feminine, any karmic situations. And I feel if the masculine is going to be staying stuck and he chooses not to do it for himself, then the universe will step in with some type of tower and do it for him. And odds of the tower taking place at that 0 point are very large because of the aneretic degree of the powerfulness of the reset, the Gnostic, like the Gnostic 0 point. And so we're ending a major cycle. So the masculine might lose a job, have to move residence, and lose a relationship all at once. It could be the energy of it all at once. Really pay attention to where Capricorn is sitting in your housing side, because that will give you a better idea of how this energy is going to be affecting you. So for me, Mars in Capricorn is going to be in my 11th house of my social groups, like what I put out there within the community. And so big changes for me, right, for the channel and my personal growth journey coming up here within the community. And so there's going to be like a major release coming up here of anything that's no longer serving our evolutionary journey or this union journey, because if you incarnated with your counterpart this lifetime, we are destined to have that union for our mission work, whatever that union looks like for you. And so there's a major releasing of energy, I feel, during this Mars cycle, preparing us for more joy, more inspiration. And so don't get caught up by the heavy emotions, because I don't think we're through the purification process yet. And a lot of the masculines are in the sludge of it, and the feminine will be holding that space and helping transmute the releasing of the emotions for the masculine. And so do not get caught up or hung up on wallowing in a state of what used to be. I found myself wallowing a lot on the Christmas break so far, just wallowing, right? It was so devastating to kind of miss out on Christmas with my entire extended family, to have my little one so sick and so unwell, and then I went down and I was sick for a couple of days. It was just like this state of wallowing, right? And I'm looking back feeling better today, and I'm like, well, blessing in disguise. It is what it is, right? Next year will be a better year. But it was definitely a cathartic process for me. It definitely had me all up in my feels. It was very uncomfortable to go through that processing. And so I do feel wallowing, though, will only bring more challenges, obstacles, and delays. And so we have to release the frustration, the depression, and the stuckness, and the discontentment. And we do that by taking action. And so I do feel we're going to have the drive to go through the drudgery of the sludge to take action where we need to go while Mars is in Capricorn. But I do feel there's going to be some negative manifestations coming through when it first shifts that could cause a lot of unrest. And it is like the process of the fall or dissension, right? Instead of ascension, dissension. So I do feel a lot of people might struggle with ill health. I know there's viruses going around like crazy. And usually when we get taken down with ill health or a virus or something, that is to put us in a state of rest and purging and healing, to get us out of this perpetual state of dissension, right? And unrest and anxiety. And so we go into this retreating, and sometimes we're forced into that retreat, or what I call like a spiritual exile, and that's what it felt like, exile. So maybe some of the masculines are feeling like they're in a state of exile. But rest, relief, and retreat is what my guides said this Mars and Capricorn cycle is bringing. Rest, relief, and retreat. We do have the Sun square Chiron on the weekend, on Saturday. And so this is exploring an even deeper layer of healing and growth. Squares usually indicate a tower, an external boom, right? Oppositions are internal struggles. Squares are usually like a fight with somebody else. With the Sun in Capricorn, square Chiron in Aries, this is the energy of the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? Is I was shown the star with the Ace of Swords, and the star was like flipping between the star and the Magician, like this, with the Ace of Swords beside. And so this is like the energy of truth. And the sun square Chiron is going to be at 15 degrees 29. 15 is the devil card. 29 is key 29 in the tarot is the Three of Wands. 29 is also an anaretic number. And so this is the moment in time where we are at a turning point, the tipping point, right? Where we can choose to keep going down the pathway of something unhealthy and toxic, or we can choose to go through this learning period and become a master. And so that song, I channeled that song quite a bit over the holiday. You could be a champion, you could be a teacher, you could be a student, and I can't think of it right now. Standing in the Hall of Fame, I think might be the song, Standing in the Hall of Fame. Anyways, Google it. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. But like, we are here to be students and teachers, I think is the message trying to come through with that. But we can choose to be a master and explore this healing. We can choose to keep masking the pain through addictions, right? We can choose to do that. We all have free will. But eventually what goes around comes around, and there is no healing journey without facing the pain. And so we are at a pivot point. I do feel this is like the ending of a major karmic partnership. And this could be like a karmic partnership with a person or an addiction. It doesn't have to be a person, but the ending of a major karmic cycle where something has had a hold on you, a grip on you. And so I do feel we're at a pivot point for the divine masculine. I know for myself, it feels really good. Like Christmas, I guess the highlight of Christmas for me was Christmas Day was 1 month free of nicotine and cigarettes. And so, yeah, I just feel like the ending of an unhealthy partnership. And that's where I'm at, like really coming to the ending of that completion of that cycle for me, right? That would have been the devil for me, the cigarette addiction, the nicotine addiction. And so this could be a partnership of any kind. But I do feel an ending of a significant past life soul agreement for many of the masculines and feminines. And so usually when we are in separation, we have a karmic soul agreement with another, because that's how we learn and we grow. The karmic pushes us to learn and to grow. And the karmic would also be a reflection of our own inner karmic feminine or masculine that we're here to integrate. And so I do feel there's a lot of uncertainties at this time, and there's fears coming to the surface because a lot of people are still holding on to these very toxic soul agreements where it just masks the pain and it just creates more cycles of grief. And then I was shown the Empress with the 9 of Wands, and this is healing the divine feminine, getting to the core of the wound, healing the mother wound. And so the star with the Magician too is healing deception, healing manipulation, self-deception, because we often are our biggest deceivers when we lie to ourselves. And so I do feel this is bringing all of these past wounds to the surface. Disappointments are setting in. I'm feeling it collectively. I'm feeling this just heavy, disappointed energy is setting in when it comes to these endings. But all endings lead us to the pathway of tuning into something more true for us. And so endings lead to new beginnings. Endings bring us back into the light. And so we're in a period of testing ourselves, right? We're being spiritually tested. These past wounds and traumas are surfacing. They're going to have to be faced. And it's not easy. It's not comfortable. Any insecurities that are surfacing are going to be very extreme, I feel, at this time. And it's going to really highlight where we've overcompensated with masking, whether that's using a person to mask our pain, or a drug, or an addiction, shopping, anything of the sort. And so it is a fall from reputation, a fall from grace energy, major disappointment likely playing out when it comes to a toxic contract ending this week. And so how can you honor and embrace your wounds or any wounding coming up this week as a gateway to deepen your relationship to self-understanding? Right? Because this ultimately is a journey of self-understanding and healing our relationship to ourselves. And so for me, I've got like my moon in my 7th house of Virgo. My moon is Virgo. I have Saturn in Virgo, Jupiter in Virgo, all of this energy in my 7th house of Virgo. And so this is a process of healing my relationship to myself and where I create my own karma due to my free will choices and all of that, right? And then expanding beyond the same repetitive relationship cycle. And so how can you honor and embrace this deep healing of your relationship to self? Because every relationship is going to be a mirror of your relationship to yourself. And so I do feel we're at a tipping point where we've got the devil with the 3 of Wands coming up as a crossroads, or we got the Empress and the 9 of Wands coming up as a crossroads. So we can stay in this bondage with the devil, which leaves us in a state of chronic indecision, which would be the Libra South Node right now playing out. Or like the indecision would be, teetering between freedom and bondage, discernment, indecision, right? Or we can go into the Empress and the 9 of Wands and we can do this deep-seated healing. We can embrace this inheritance, is what they want me to say, this inheritance of this growth, of this self-expression, of this recognition of the wound, of how powerful we are to heal and feel and nurture and mother and love ourselves. So I just feel like the devil allows outside appearances to cause heartache, right? Because the devil wants you to go and compare yourself to everybody else. The devil wants you to stay stuck in a parasitic relationship, even though there's trouble in paradise, right? So the devil doesn't want you to look below the surface. The devil doesn't want you to see the situation as it really is, and it keeps you in a state of illusion. And so we're at a pivot point. Are you in a situation where it is limiting you, or is it setting you free? So look at your life, whatever relationship it is. Maybe it's just the relationship with yourself, divine feminine, or divine masculine if you're in a karmic relationship. Or are you ready to step into the recognition and the inheritance of the understanding of the wounding? And then you can, be rewarded for work well done, for transforming and turning that pain into liquid gold, pretty much, and take the middle road, right? Because I do feel during this time, a lot of the divine feminines are really tapping into a happier reality. I feel this is really going to be a productive period for the divine feminine where we're taking the middle road. I do feel for the feminine, be prepared for advancement is what I feel over this Mars period as well. So with the Star and the Ace of Swords and the Magician and the Ace of Swords, this is the hand of gold. This is the hand of gold, hand of gold. Hand of God is what I wanted to say. So hand of gold. And so this might be a period where everything you touch turns to gold in the sense of like manifestation, on point, divine feminine, instant manifestation. But this is the hand of God that holds the sword of truth. And so there's your truth, divine feminine. There's the divine masculine's truth. And then there's divine truth. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are being shown this divine truth in their conscious mind, like the feminine has been shown in order for this new beginning. And so decisions. I do feel rewards, assistance for the feminine. And don't allow doubts to creep into your mind. And I channeled that and wrote that in all capital letters. Do not allow doubts to creep into your mind at this time. Then we close off the week on Sunday with Venus square Lilith. And so this is fate and destiny, I feel, playing out for a new beginning. This is a very challenging energy. I feel this is going to bring in a tower of some sort. Venus in Sagittarius square Lilith in Virgo. There's some type of completion of a cycle when it comes to family matters. I was shown the Queen of Wands. With Venus and Sag, I feel Queen of Wands energy. I was shown the Queen of Wands connecting to Scorpionic energy. And with Lilith and Virgo, this is the energy I feel of purification, The Lovers and the Hanged Man is what I was shown with this energy coming through. And so I do feel family matters are coming up this week for sure. Jealousy issues are going to have to be addressed. Unfaithfulness, domineering, revengeful energies are going to have to be faced. I do feel the karmics are going to feel like they've been crossed. There is going to be like a great deal of mental activity, I feel, coming through when it comes to the death of a karmic situation this week. And every circumstance in our life is always going to be a result of prior use of our energies, whether this life or in a past life. And so the universe is always seeking to create that karmic balance. And what goes around always comes around. And so it might not always be with the same person, the energy balancing out, but how you treat somebody eventually will come back around to you. And so that's kind of the law of the universe. And so we can decide now to begin to gain mastery over our future by always choosing to take the middle road or the high road even, right? But I do feel there was a lot of Venus in Gemini energy coming through with that transit. And I was shown the tree of knowledge and this Kundalini life force energy rising like gold through the tree of knowledge. And so this Kundalini energy, we all have it. We all have it in our chakra system. It's trapped in the lower centers of the body, like the lower chakra centers of the body, right? And it's near the base of the spine. And so until we activate this Kundalini life force energy, we're only tapped into the physical senses, the physical 5 senses of this 3D reality, right? And when the Kundalini energy is activated, and a lot of times the twin flame experience and journey activates the Kundalini. I'll leave it at that because I know it was my karmic that activated the Kundalini for me. Until we activate this higher Kundalini energy, we're only operating out of the 5 senses, and we're really not tapped into our gifts, our intuition, and all of that jazz. But I do feel it's this energy of the Kundalini rising of the spine. And so until the masculine allows the Kundalini to go through those lower centers, through the heart, which would be having to feel everything, it cannot reach the higher centers for the higher ascension plane. So I just feel like this increasing awareness of the uncomfortableness in the karmic relationships is going to get louder and louder. It's really going to be a tumultuous time for relationships that are rooted in past energy or past timelines, because this energy is kind of pushing the twins to work past all of these unresolved wounds, especially surrounding self-sabotaging behaviors. So there's going to be a lot of untapped rage, I feel, with that square. Sacred rage exploding out in all directions to activate the coiled snake at the base of the spine. But this will also force many in the collective to face these past hurts and release the heart pain. There's no way around it. Like, we cannot keep spiritually bypassing. There's no way around it. We have to go straight through it. We got to face these hurts, these fears, and release this heart pain. And I do feel there's a lot of social pressures surrounding the masculine, which might lead to more sabotaging behaviors. But I do feel a recognition where a lot of the masculines allowed a social group or a social setting or a family setting to pressure them to sabotage the important relationship with the divine feminine. And so I do feel the divine masculines are at a pivot point where they're going to have to face some past traumas this week. And they're going to have to face any deep inner rage to overcome what they've suppressed, is what I feel. There's like a release of the suppression coming out this week. So let's reorient. And I think I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to try and shift the camera, guys, so you can actually get a view of the cards. So give me 1 second here. All right, guys, so let's jump in today. And I'm going to start off with using the archetype deck. So we're going to get a couple cards for the divine masculine. We're going to see what archetype energies are coming through for the masculine for the week ahead. And then we will jump in and pull a couple for the divine feminine. I'm just trying to change things up a bit so you can see the cards on the camera. But let's get a card for the divine masculine. That one come flying out. Oh, look at that. So we get the hero card for the divine masculine. Bottom of the deck. Ooh, I like it. We get the gambler with the goddess, the mystic, the companion, the pioneer, I gotta take it, the seeker, and the priest with the martyr. Holy moly, a divine masculine. I do feel a lot of the masculines are still in that victim mentality. I feel the masculine's at a pivot point for sure this week. That's what I'm feeling. I feel they know they cannot keep playing into this escapism tendency when it comes to the addictions that they've been playing into, and they need to take a chance. They need to take a chance and follow their intuition when it comes to taking a leap of faith. I do feel a lot of people are doubting them. So if you look at this card, you see two people on opposite sides of the mountain, and that I feel represents the journey of the twins, right? We both have our own challenges to face during separation, and so we have our own mountains to climb individually to reach union. And so this is the energy of having blind faith, of taking that leap of faith. I do feel there is a soul recognition going on here, where the masculine does recognize the true divine feminine being expressed through you, divine feminine, the wisdom that you're bringing forward. And I do feel he's been exploited by that karmic feminine form. And I do feel he could be going through states of delusional rapport. I think the divine is kind of going to have their way with the masculine, because I think they're going to say, hey, it's time to put a stop to this. And so there is like a higher 5D intimate union going on in the masculine's higher conscious mind at this time. A recognition of the mission work, I feel, of the union with the divine feminine. And I do feel needing to face the betrayal, right? Where he misused his truth, his confidence with you. I do feel a lot of the masculines are losing something right now because of their lack of loyalty. And there's this seeking for this truth energy coming through for the divine masculine. I do feel he's feeling very violated. Maybe somebody has recently broken his trust, but I do feel his social group maybe is exiling him. Maybe he's feeling like an outcast. This is a need for the masculine to choose to commit to the path. This is also the energy I feel of like 40 days in the desert, 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, of only having exactly what you need. And so I also feel this is the energy of Mars transiting through Capricorn, the drudgery of this thirst for wisdom, seeking wisdom and committing to the path and learning to transcend this victim mentality. I do feel this addiction to this pity party, because I do feel he's been playing the victim for a while. And I do feel there's a need for boundaries for the masculine to center himself. Okay, let's see what needs to come through for the divine feminine. Oh, we get 3 out. Okay, I love it. I love it. Divine feminine. We get the Avenger with the artist. So this is Libra energy coming through. And then we get the artist energy here. And then we get the King came out. And on the bottom of the deck, we get the Queen. And so below her, we get the Mediator with the Father energy and the Guide. So I feel divine feminine. You've been like this Avenger, right? If you look at this card, it's like he's wearing a map of like the world, right? His cape is like a map. And so this is the balancing of the scales. This is the desire for justice. And I feel this is the feminine really tapping into her talents, her expression of all of these higher dimensions, right? We have tapped into beyond the five senses on the journey. And so the feminine is here to symbolically live her life, to inspire others to do the same. And this is where we have that Avenger balance coming through, right? And so I do feel the guides are kind of working on your behalf at this time. Divine Feminine is what I'm feeling, to bring you your king. I do feel you've manifested a king, a divine masculine. And so I just feel you have manifested an enlightened king that will step onto the leadership path with you, Divine Feminine, because you are a queen. And so I just feel you're radiating right now. You're just radiating this regal, royal, divine feminine energy. Maybe you will be traveling soon. Maybe you're going to be known around the world. But I just feel like there's somebody here that is very arrogant and might want to challenge you because of your regalness. But I kind of had to laugh because the bottom of the deck, we got the mediator with the father energy and then the guide. And so this to me is like the father. I think of like the Almighty Father, the creator. And so I do feel like the guides really have been supporting your life, whether you realize it or not, Divine Feminine. And so you have released yourself from the patriarchy, dictatorial control. I do feel a lot of the feminines experience a lot of abuse in their life, and some of them even at the hands of their own father. But I do feel there's been a positive guiding light really helping you move forward. And so I just feel there's a negotiation energy, there's a fairness energy coming through. And I do feel your professional life is about to really skyrocket. So whatever you've been working on as a side job or something in your professional life is really going to be skyrocketing. But I do feel you need to be careful. But I feel protection over somebody that might have a hidden agenda. But here you are, this guide, this guiding light. And I do feel like you serve as a mediation between the spiritual and the physical realm when it comes to manifesting heaven on earth. And so I just feel like financial gains might be coming. But this is where you really allow the divine into your life wholly and fully. But I do feel like the masculine might be coming in asking for some help. So let's jump in with a couple of tarot cards because I realize we're already at 42 minutes. Look at that. We got the Fool with the Knight of Wands in reverse. So this could be unexpected communication when Mercury stations direct. This could be an unexpected departure. This is fast communication, blocked communication even. But I just feel, boom, there's that reset. There's that genesis. And so this is where I feel like, you know, we got to face that past judgment too. There's going to be a shocking shift this week. And there could be unexpected communication. So this could be combative communication as well. But let's get a couple cards for the Divine Masculine. Okay, we get the Seven of Swords reversed with the Knight of Cups reversed. Any other messages? There's that Fool. So Aries energy. I think the masculine might be leaving a situation behind. This could be like, this is like the cat's out of the bag is what I want to say. This is the energy of exposure. That's that energy of a fall from grace. I do feel maybe the masculine's losing his reputation at this time. The Knight of Cups reverses the smiling liar, right? That's the love bomber energy. This could be the masculine dealing with a love bomber, or this could be some type of an exposure. But I just feel like the cat's out of the bag is really what I want to say. And the masculine's been in a loveless situation, a juvenile situation. I just feel where there's been a lot of maybe bickering, a lot of maybe like emotional stabbings. But I just feel like there's been so much resistance to the heartbreak, right? The Three of Swords is on the back. And so maybe the hidden emotions bursting onto the scenes as well. And then we got, you know, the masculine might be feeling like a clown, like a joker. But there is some type of transformation going on here is what I'm feeling. I do believe Uranus in Taurus will station direct. I don't think it's until January the 27th. So this could all be leading up to that. But then we get the Five of Wands in reversed on the bottom of the deck with the Eight of Coins in reverse. So that could be a sudden job loss as well. So this could be playing out on the job front for the masculine. But the reversals to me say like everything is getting flipped upside down, but it is leading the masculine down the pathway to a brand new beginning, right? And so I do feel sometimes we got to lose it all to gain it all, right? And that's the energy of losing it all to gain it all. And maybe that's to learn a lesson of inconsistencies. But let's get a couple cards for the Divine Feminine. What needs to come through? Divine Feminine, we get the Empress in reverse. We get the Seven of Cups and the Six of Cups. Oh my gosh, Divine Feminine. So there is like a major purge going on here with the Divine Feminine of some past memories, some childhood memories. There is a disassociation, almost a disillusionment going on, it seems, with the Divine Feminine. Because have you really stepped into your worth and your value? And so what I want to say is like, that there's some like very intense labor pains. It's that final push before birthing that reality. And there is still some type of father wound here that needs to be addressed. And there's that blocked communication. Yeah, definitely a father wound here is a block for your Kundalini energy rising Divine Feminine. So we've got a father wound needing to be faced, Divine Feminine. So there is a need to get really honest with yourself about a father wound coming up this week. There's that Nine of Wands. So there's that wounded healer. There's that Venus. Was it Venus square Chiron? I put my book away. Oh, Venus square Lilith might trigger a father wound, self-love. So I do feel disillusionment. Definitely some childhood memories with a father coming up. Scorpio coming through strong. So this could be a Taurus Scorpio lesson. Or it could be maybe with the father of your child. It doesn't have to be like specifically your father. But that is a block, I feel, to complete independence. So there could be a block with the father wound that you really need to get honest with yourself about before the twin can come in for this balancing. So let's get you an advice card. Let's get an advice card with the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck for the Divine Masculine. Just need one, please. All right, love. So that's a message for the Divine Masculine. Deep, unconditional, healthy love wants you, Divine Masculine. So open up your heart. Okay, a message for the Divine Feminine. Spend time alone. So spend time alone this week. Quiet introspection is what is needed. Disconnect, relax, turn off your electronics, get off of Facebook, and just be. Just be with yourself, be with the energies, because I do think we are going to be triggered. We're going to be put to the test because we are in a very intense period of massive global soul awakenings taking place, and a lot of the twins are holding the space as people embark upon this empowerment journey. So a lot of catalytic changes to trigger trauma and wounds coming up this week. That's the advice. So trust your gut feelings, guys. Oh, let me adjust that. Trust your gut feelings, guys. You always know what's best for you on your journey. Let me know if you like that style of reading. If not, I'll go back. It doesn't matter to me, but everything's kind of coming to the surface. It needs to be addressed. So Divine Feminine, spend time alone, and Divine Masculine, The love you are seeking is seeking you, I think, has been waiting for you. So trust your intuition, guys, this week. I do think we are moving in the right direction, and that's kind of what I got. So I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thanks, guys.